Listen up, humans! Stop scrolling and look at me! Don't let this belly fool! I've got centuries of wisdom in this furry head. Today, I'm telling you the story of Japan's ultimate alpha. They called him the monkey. He started with 0, but ended up owning the whole place. This is Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Pay attention. You might actually learn how to succeed, for once.
Hideyoshi is perhaps the most remarkable and most unconventional leader in Japanese history. Born into a dirt-poor peasant family, his future seemed set in stone, with no hint of the legendary fate awaiting him. Physically, he was far from a warrior, short, frail, and uneducated. With his protruding ears, deep-set eyes, and a weathered, reddish face, he bore a striking resemblance to a primate. This earned him the lifelong nickname Monkey, a label that stood in stark contrast to the greatness he would eventually achieve.
If God didn't bless you with a pretty face or rich ancestors, don't panic. That's not a life sentence.
Hideyoshi was born at the height of the chaotic age of warring states. Back then, for an ambitious peasant, the only escape from a lifetime of backbreaking field labor was the military or the priesthood. On paper, his odds were slim. Standing barely 5 feet tall and weighing only 110 pounds with a heavy slouch, he was the last person anyone expected to become a warrior. Yet, against all odds, he shot up like a rising star to the very pinnacle of power, eventually uniting a nation torn apart by centuries of civil war.
My dad used to say, "Son, you better learn how to cook, because no woman will cook for you with that face."
The samurai tradition dates back to the 7th century, when the Yamato clan ancestors of the imperial dynasty rose to power. Originally, the word samurai meant one who serves, referring to high-born guards of the imperial court. This core principle of service became the spiritual bedrock of the samurai class. Hideyoshi was a genius at recruiting, retaining, and promoting talent within a structure that closely mirrors a modern Asian corporation. His leadership style remains as fresh and relevant today as it was 400 years ago. The central theme of his teachings is that a leader must be a servant to their people, not the other way around. While this servant leadership is rare today, Hideyoshi believed the driving force behind it was simple: a profound sense of gratitude.
Some people say gratitude is rare these days. If you relate, hit like. If not, congrats! You won the relationship lottery.
People dubbed me the monkey, partly for my mischievous nature, but mostly for my protruding ears, oversized head, and frail frame. I am short, and frankly, I'm not much to look at. Those meeting me for the first time are often visible shaken. They simply don't expect the most powerful man in the nation to be a bald, unsightly dwarf. Some have even called me the ugliest leader in the history of Japan. Throughout my ascent to power, I followed these rules religiously. They were my greatest allies. The leadership lessons I learned then remain timeless, and the samurai code still speaks to leaders far beyond the borders of Japan. I was a nobody. A dirt-poor, ugly, monkey-faced peasant. That was me, Hideyoshi, the monkey boy. My father died young, and I was constantly at odds with my stepfather. I had no education, no trade, and 0 noble privileges. But I squeezed every bit of value out of the few assets I did have. My poverty became my greatest strength. It taught me the raw reality of the struggle for survival. Remember, 95% of those on the battlefield are foot soldiers, people from the bottom rungs of society. I know exactly how they think and feel, because I was one of them. That is why I can win their loyalty and admiration in a way no high-born lord ever could. How can those who have always had food and clothes ever truly understand those who have had nothing? One day, I made a choice. "Mother, I am leaving to find my own path," I told her. "I will not return until I have made a name for myself." I was only 15, but the fire in my eyes told her that arguing was useless. With tears streaming down her face, she handed me a heavy bag of copper coins, enough to buy rice for an entire year. Knowing the dangers a boy alone would face, she feared we might never meet again. She gave me my entire inheritance then, and there more than any peasant child could hope for. She had starved herself to save every single coin. In that moment, I truly understood the depth of her love and sacrifice. For the first time, I felt a wave of pure gratitude. As I walked on the dirt road leading out of my village, I swore to change her life. I would climb to the top, rescue her from the grueling labor in the fields, and give her a life of luxury. That gratitude ignited an unstoppable drive within me. Contrary to popular belief, leadership isn't about being served, it's about serving others. To lead, you must first master the secret of gratitude. True leaders are, above all, grateful. Leaving home was the start of a grueling new life. At my first stop, I spent most of my inheritance on sewing needles. They were expensive but light to carry and always in high demand. Life as a traveling peddler was brutal for a 15-year-old. Before long, my savings were gone, and I took any job I could find, sweeping floors, driving carts, just to fill my stomach. I slept under the stars, went days without food, and even begged for scraps. I became a jack of all trades: carpenter, fisherman, knife sharpener, oil seller. You name it, I did it. Through these struggles, I mastered the art of the marketplace. I learned to read people, sense their moods, and anticipate their needs. I saw the best and worst of humanity, generosity and greed, loyalty and betrayal. My ability to read the human soul became my secret weapon. One day, while resting on a bridge, a high-ranking official named Naganori passed by. He later admitted he couldn't tell if I was a man who looked like a monkey or a monkey dressed as a man. "Where are you from, boy?" He called down from his horse. I told him I was looking for work in a samurai estate. He laughed. Who would hire such a scrawny runt? I shot back, "Well, you don't exactly look like a grand lord yourself. Just because you don't like my face doesn't mean no one else will," stunned by my wit. He laughed and took me to the castle as a funny little fellow. The vassals mocked me, tossing chestnuts and persimmons which I devoured hungrily, earning me the nickname Monkey once again. But I was fed twice a day, and my life in the clan began. My first rank? A sandal bearer, following my master everywhere, tending to his shoes, and handling 1,000 small errands. I was soon promoted to valet, responsible for managing the wardrobes of the lords and assisting them daily. Eventually, I was put in charge of the storerooms. Because I excelled at my job, I became an indispensable asset to the estate. But as the saying goes, nobody likes a fast-rising outsider. Fueled by jealousy, a fellow servant framed me for theft. Soon, a wave of false accusations followed. Naganori told me frankly that I had earned the hatred of the entire staff. Though he felt for me, he couldn't fire everyone else just to keep me on board. He let me go. When I protested and swore my innocence, he snapped, calling me arrogant. I left the castle in tears. I was 18 years old. Losing my place in the clan was a turning point. I made a solemn vow. The next master I served would be a result of my own deliberate choice, not a chance encounter on a bridge. My home province was ruled by the young Lord Oda Nobunaga, a man his vassals called the Thunderbolt of War. I knew he was the mentor I needed. But there was a problem. How does a nobody with zero status get the attention of a titan? I decided to grease the wheels of my plan. I spent every penny I had to bribe a servant for Nobunaga's secret schedule. It was the best investment of my life. After 2 failed attempts, one where he rode past too fast and another where a rainstorm drowned out my voice, luck finally turned as Nobunaga pulled up his horse. I lunged onto the muddy road, bowing so low my eyebrows touched the dirt. "Lord Nobunaga, I offer you my services," I cried. He looked down with cold disdain. A little monkey like you thinks he can be useful? I looked him dead in the eye. Yes, my lord. I know I can. He mocked me in front of his men, shouting about the cost of rice it takes to feed a servant. Can you justify that expense, monkey? He sneered. Without missing a beat, I replied, I will pay for myself 3 times over by doing the work of 3 men. That day, my life changed forever. Don't be the person who looks back 20 years from now with regret. Seize your moment with both hands. Fortune favors the bold, and leaders must master the secret of decisiveness. When the moment comes, act without fear. My new role was demanding, but the payoff was immense. I found myself at the heart of the Oda clan, observing the high-stakes political intrigues of the warring states. My strategy was simple. I outworked everyone. I made sure I was doing 3 times the work of any other servant to prove I was worthy of my leader's trust. Nobunagi called me monkey. And later, as I aged, the bald rat, while my appearance was a source of insecurity. I learned a vital lesson. A leader must turn their weaknesses into assets. Once, during a falconry hunt, a hawk got tangled in a tall tree. Nobunaga barked, "Monkey, free that bird." I didn't just obey. I leaned into the persona. I climbed that tree mimicking a chimpanzee, making everyone roar with laughter. Using humor to serve as a superpower for any leader. But the real turning point was a freezing winter day. I waited outside my master's tent, holding his sandals against my bare chest to keep them warm. When Nobunaga stepped out and realized what I had done, he was deeply moved. That act of devotion earned me a massive promotion. Here's the secret of loyalty. Loyalty is a 2-way street. To inspire others to follow you, you must first show absolute devotion to your leader and your mission. Cynics might dismiss gratitude, hard work, decisiveness, and loyalty as elementary concepts not worth their time. But look closer at the world around you. You will find that ungrateful people are almost always miserable. You will see that hard work remains the ultimate prerequisite for success, and that fortune truly does favor the bold. You will witness how loyalty to family, leaders, and teams pays back in spades. Some believe these principles are only for followers, not for those at the top. They are wrong. To lead others, you must first learn to serve. To command others, you must first master yourself. These principles are universal. They serve the boss just as much as the subordinate. Gratitude, loyalty, hard work, and decisiveness. These are easy words to say, but hard truths to live by. Yet, it is these very principles that forge the soul of a samurai and build the iron foundation of true leadership.
So, listen closely, you hairless apes. If you start something, put your whole heart into it. But here is the catch: choose wisely who you serve. Hideyoshi didn't just follow some random guy on a bridge. He chose a leader worth his loyalty. Slaving away for the wrong person is just a waste of a perfectly good life. Be smart, ***. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's nap time. Hit that follow button so you don't miss the next chapter. And drop a samurai cat in the comments if you're smart enough to get the message. I'm out.